I don't even know if they had it clear in their minds when they wrote the script how old he was supposed to be, because he walks out with, like, pajamas and, like, a teddy bear, which, by the way, creepiest teddy bear I've ever seen. The thing has no eyes.
It's been loved to death.
I don't think so. It looks brand new with no eyes.
Yeah, this is creeped out after all.
Grab some popcorn and stick around. We've got some garbage to talk about.
Hi, Rogue.
Hey, Zax.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Zax. I feel awful.
What's
What
wrong?
did you got?
We had to watch Creeped Out.
Oh, no.
Also, I have COVID, but we had to watch Creeped Out.
Creeped out is the more important part of
Yeah.
Affliction.
To be serious, I may cough and sniffle through this video. I will try to cut as much of it out as I can, but I apologize in advance if there's any of it left. We watched Season 2, Episode 1, according to Netflix. I did not check before we started recording what actual episode number it is.
Yeah, I don't really care too much about the order because, I figure...
It's not like they matter.
And for Spooktober, I just figured it was time to get creeped out again.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in a whole different house and wasn't married the last time we had a creeped out
Whoa,
session.
you've grown so much.
That's true.
I've become a real woman.
What?
New home, new husband, new me.
You heard it here. Women aren't real unless they're married and have a house.
Yeah.
We don't have a house.
So half a woman.
A place.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
A different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a new location.
Well, anyway, Season 2, Episode 1 on Netflix, and when I just looked up, it looks like that's everywhere. It's called One More Minute, and it's about gaming.
Ooh, topical.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, so, like, if you remember Marty, which is still... We'll see how this lines up, but that's basically still my favorite episode of Creeped Out, Marty.
I haven't seen Creeped Out in ages, so...
Yeah, Marty... Well, I remember it compared to the other ones. And so that's good. That was all about the dangers of having a phone.
The killer app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is about how gaming works. And we're just going to go...
Gaming works? I'm pretty sure it's more supposed to be about gaming addiction.
Yeah,
Not just gaming in general.
The dangers
Although,
of gaming.
I guess they don't really... Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, so it starts off with them playing, and the fictional game of this little thing. Oh, right, sorry. The Curious. We
got to start with the framing device.
So he is in front of a math board, and it's so interesting because this equation, sometimes it roughly has something to do with it, but this time it's like, it's too much of a good thing. Is that enough or whatever?
Yeah, the framing device lady, she says something about the Curious and says, do we have the ability to control time just by choosing what we do? Because, like, when you're bored, time seems to go a lot slower.
Oh my gosh.
When you're interested, and, like, when she says bored, the Curious is standing in front of, like, a chalkboard which has, like, a quadratic equation on it. It says, use the quadratic formula to solve for x. And then they have the quadratic formula there, and I checked their work, and they got the right answer. It's just... They just have some basic math on the board, and the Curious is sitting there looking bored. And I'm like, it's done. It's not even... The solution is on the board.
That's why he's bored.
Okay.
He solved the problem, but he wanted more.
We'll see he gets more by the end. But yeah, she says, do you have the ability to control time when you're bored or whatever?
So it starts off with him gaming with his friends, and
the main character's name is Jack.
Oh, good. And he's got two friends, and they're online. Hey,
I don't remember what their names are.
Okay, I was just gonna call them
friends.
Yeah. Okay. So the fictional game of this is called Kingdoms of Tevin. It looks to me as someone who doesn't.
Tevin?
Yeah, Tevin, Teven, Tevin.
Okay.
I don't.
It looks kind of like a Minecraft Fortnite or something.
No, I
Wait,
think
hold on. Those are two very different games.
Yeah, no, she's saying like some kind of weird hybrid between them.
Because it's definitely an MMO, but like it's got like that blocky style to me.
Yeah, like I'll show you a screenshot of this game, and I'll put it on screen as well. This is what the gameplay looks like. And you can see there's a score on screen, but there's also like the graphics are kind of blocky and shitty looking, kind of RuneScape-ish, but like the camera view is here. It's not always over the shoulder though. He can turn the character around on screen. So I don't really know how you're supposed to fight enemies like this. Also, I don't know how far in the game he is because he still has access to a wooden sword. Maybe he just keeps that around for fun. But yeah, that's the game.
He's playing with a controller, but they've got like keyboard functions on there.
Yeah.
What do you think the score is? How do you make your score go up?
I assume killing enemies. But like they talk about like they seem to be in some kind of raid or like like they're fighting a boss and they're all fighting together and they're like, use the elixir. He's like, not yet. And then he uses it and then they win and he's like, I used the elixir at the last second. And he's doing dance moves in his room and his little brother's there going, yeah, cool. And like his mom opens the door and is like, hey, it's bedtime. Nice moves. And then like, he's like, okay, well, whatever.
Also, I want to talk about the mom for a bit because right now she seems like a normal mother,
relatively cool.
She's
mom.
just like, hey, it's getting late. The little brother, he's got to go to bed, and and he should go to bed too for school tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that's fine. He immediately, as soon as they're gone, puts a towel in front of it, and I'm like,
in front of the door, yeah.
So they can't see that his lights are still on, and he keeps playing. But, he wants to keep playing. His friends, they both want to go to bed. I don't remember what time it is. I think it is like 11 or 10 or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it's fairly late.
It's a decent time to call it quits for the day.
Yeah, and I mean, if your friends are done playing, I don't know. I play Destiny, right? Yeah. And so, like, in Destiny, you can outpace your friends a little bit. Like, your power level can get much further than theirs, especially at the start of a new expansion or whatever, but like, generally speaking, they know, the designers of MMOs, designers of multiplayer games, know that, like, your friends may not have as much progress as you, and they don't want your friends to just be screwed, right? So they try to make the game playable no matter what. But you should still try to stay close to your friends in skill level or in equipment or whatever, so that you guys can continue to do the same sorts of activities without one of you being bored.
Right.
Right? If I've already blasted through the game and I'm a pro at it, playing with somebody who's fresh might be a little bit boring. And, it's a little weird to me that he's so eager to play the game that he's not really interested in whether or not he's playing with his friends. Because they all want to go to bed and he wants to keep playing.
I guess we can already assume that he's a little overpowered because, like, it was down to him to win that fight.
No, not necessarily. Depending on the type of game, it could be something like they all have different builds that complement each other in some way. Like everybody has a pivotal role. His just happens to be the last one. Or maybe he just had the last elixir. I don't know. They don't show the gameplay. They show a little bit of him slashing a couple of skeletons, and then they show their faces instead.
Well, either way, he spends all night playing Kingdoms of Tevin with Paladin.
Yeah, somebody online who's like, hey man, you want to play? And he's like, are you always online? He's like, haha, that's how I win, dude. The Paladin.
That's
almost
secret.
Verbatim.
I'm always
my secret is the secret to how I play so much is that I play a lot.
Yeah. So the next morning, his brother gets him up. He reads the joke on his calendar.
His one-a-day calendar.
Which, what's the difference between...
What's the difference between you and a calendar? A calendar has dates.
Ah.
And it's like the little brother is so proud of it. Now, I want to just be clear about this. Like, no offense to the actor. I don't know how old the child that they cast to play this part is. But he is simultaneously 4 and 9.
Yeah, like
he's like
What?
he looks 9, but he's like carrying around a teddy bear and like being extra cute. And then later on we find out that the whole time he was supposed to be 11.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Which was like, what do you think children are?
later on in the episode, like kind of midway through the episode, they're having a serious conversation between Jack and his mom, and like they're trying to have it in the kitchen privately, and then like the kid comes in, the younger brother comes in with a teddy bear, and he's like, "What's going on?" And it's like, he's 11, he's allowed to be part of this conversation. Like 11 is not so young that he's gonna be blindsided by the idea that Jack is having a problem.
I mean, 11 is like middle school, right?
Yeah, like, you should be well into being involved in these kinds of things, family discussions. By the way, we don't see, I guess Jack's dad's just not in the picture, and they just don't mention him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, it's just mom and the boys right now.
Anyway, so yeah, he wakes up the next morning, and brother tells the joke from the calendar, and then he goes to school.
He goes to school, he talks to his boys, and
he's like, I was up till 3 a.m. playing Kingdom of Tevin, dude, no regrets.
Yeah, I think he overcame some sort of game hurdle or whatever that I think they've been working on for a bit, because he's like, that, like, I'm glad that I did that.
This is exactly the kind of thing you wouldn't want to do without your friends, because if it's something that you're all struggling with, now you have to do it again with them. Right? Like, because they don't have that progress.
Well, now he'll know the way through, maybe.
Okay, but like, they could have Googled that.
I don't know. But either way, this girl Carrie comes up. And
it's implied that he has like a thing for Carrie.
I mean, and it's interesting too, because she's like sweet and cute or whatever, but he tries to do that calendar joke thing.
Yeah.
But he completely messes it up, because he's like, me and you are like a calendar.
No, he says, what's the difference between me and you?
Oh, yeah.
A calendar has dates.
Wow.
And then she just sort of looks at him, and she gives him that smile like, okay, I have a crush on you too, so we'll just allow this. Good day. One of his friends is having, that smile.
That trademark smile, yeah.
That we all know.
One of his friends is having a party on Sunday, and he's like, and Jack will be there too, so you can come. And then she's like, all right, I'll be there. Then, so that's that. Next night of the big party comes, or day of the big party comes, and he's trying to figure out what he's gonna wear. He does so he's wearing like a flannel over his shirt, and he opts to just button the middle button.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It's such a weird look.
That's very strange.
Like, is buttoning the bottom button a thing?
No.
Because like buttoning the top button is kind of like a gang member thing.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to do most of the way up or most of the way down. He does just the middle button, and that's it.
Yeah, it's like, if you're like, one button is very strange in general.
That's clearly a choice.
Yeah.
Right.
So like, either you just do half the buttons from the bottom, because even if you did half the top, it's like, you might as well just finish.
Yeah, that looks like you got stuck, or like you got distracted and walked away from the task. Yeah, but like half from the bottom kind of makes it look like you're trying to do something, and like all the buttons, obviously you're trying to do something. Yeah. Just one button is like, what were you trying to do?
Yeah, just leave it open. But then his mom is like, okay, last call for the ride to the party, because I guess she has to take the little brother somewhere as well. And he's on his way out when Paladin is like, hey, we got one more rune stone. Let's just do it real quick. So then he's like, okay, one more minute. And then she's like, all right, whatever, get yourself there. Then they leave the house.
Okay.
Yeah. And he sits down to play.
Oh, last thing, we saw he got a text from Carrie saying it's gonna be an epic night tonight.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Then he goes in and he phases into the game and
Phases into the game.
Like he's
You mean he logs on?
He's in the zone playing the game.
By the way, when he's just... You say your thing.
I was going to say Zax is the same amount of gamer as these writers are.
Yeah.
You know. Playing.
Just want to say real quick, while he's talking to his mom and getting ready with his shirt or whatever, you can see the screen, and the game is just playing itself.
Oh,
like it's
cool.
just footage of the game going, and it's like, who's playing? It's not like you're seeing other players running around. It's just the one player, and it's doing combat.
It's like how arcade games play themselves when you don't insert a coin yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
The demo screen.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be. Yeah, that actually might be what it is.
Almost certainly
But-
not.
I was just saying, like, they made it. Like, I
It's
don't.
not a
think-
thing in games.
That's
The whole point of demo screens is to entice you to come play the game
No.
and spend your money. But if you've already purchased the game, they might as well just
No.
show a start screen.
I meant that, like, I think it's just like a little loop they animated that's just been going because I don't think it's ever changed at all.
Yeah, no, you mean like the show creators?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be playing, though. It might as well be
it
an
could
off
just be
screen.
on like a start screen.
Yeah, or just the TV could be off.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to complicate it. He's not playing the game yet.
That's true.
This is how gaming addiction works. The game is always on.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
game plays
actually.
you.
Oh my god.
Honestly, if they did something like that, I think that would have been interesting.
The character in the game plugs a controller in, and suddenly I can't control myself.
That's already okay. So next, so he starts playing, and then little brother's back, and he's like, "How was it?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He looks over. So the party they made very clear. First of all, I don't know why you're having a party on a Sunday. It feels like Saturday's more of a party day, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, well, it's like, because it's like a kid's school party. Like, you all have school tomorrow, but whatever. This party is exactly from 6 to 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we look at the clock. It's now 11:20. So he is like...
He completely
royally
missed the party. Why? Did anybody hear anything that sounded like we wanted you right now?
My phone is all the way over, like, by the couch.
She said, "Did someone say party?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So he's completely missed the party. For some reason, he gets really angry with his brothers, like, "Get out!" And he looks at his phone. They texted all these things like, "Hey, where are you?" They texted a picture of the two friends and the girl he likes, Carrie.
Hanging out.
You know, they're like, "What happened?" Next day at school, he comes in. He's like, "I had a bad bout of diarrhea. That's why I couldn't go."
Yeah, I was stuck in the bathroom.
Okay.
Is that a better excuse?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what
like,
I'm saying.
I mean, like, on one hand, I'm like, I kind of get that you wouldn't want to say, I was playing this video game so much that I just did not notice. I don't know, like, I like...
My thing is, like, on one hand, like, because at this point, I don't think anyone really thinks he has, like, that big a problem. I think they think
With the game.
With the game. I think everybody, like, his friend's opinion is, like, yeah, he definitely likes it more than us, but, like, he's a regular person still or something. But I would, if we've been texting, because they're like, you could have texted. You can see when people are online, right?
In the game?
Like, they play together, so they can see when each other's online playing.
Right, if they're also playing. But they're at the party.
But it's at his house. I'm saying run up to your room real quick and just check. If you want to know where your friend is.
What?
I would just go see if he's online. I'd be like...
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't assume that he was playing. Because that seems like a crazy thing to do instead of going to a party and hanging out with the girl who's clearly crazy about you.
It was funny too because then, like, when they're back at school, she did something that we were like, wow, she's really like laying it on thick. Because when we first meet her, she's like a cute, like, she's just acting like the girl that the guy has a crush on in movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like aloof or whatever and coy. But then the thing she's like,
I mean, she starts trying to play their game.
she starts trying to play their game, and she's like, okay, great. I just downloaded it last night. You like this game, right? This'll, like...
Is this what'll keep you invested in becoming, like, what?
Like,
I'm trying to date you. Like...
It's so weird, too, because it's like the kind of thing where he's, like, all tongue-tied, and it's like, okay, but she's already, like, basically decided that you're together.
Yeah, like, she walks up to him after he says he's got he was stuck in the bathroom. She gets up from her desk, walks over to him, brushes his hair out of his face, puts a hand to his forehead, checks that he doesn't have a fever, and then says, now you're better. Carlos says you guys play Kingdoms of Heaven. I just downloaded it. Let's play.
So she's like, I think for
like,
middle school...
she's laying it on as thick as she can, like, hey, I'm trying to have sex with you, dude. Like, what are you doing?
So he, like, and then that night they all play together, and this is what we were
This is a weird scene. I don't like this.
Okay, so on one hand, it's rude because, like, okay, so they're playing. They lose.
Yeah, the game says you've been defeated, and it says game over across the screen.
And then
Jack is like, ugh. And then she says,
because it says you're defeated, and she says, like,
that's just your opinion.
yeah, and then the other guy's like, no, you're really bad at this.
No, he says, no, you're actually dead. Like, he's explaining to her that she's actually dead. And then she, like, looks a little confused. And I don't think she's confused at the game, because the idea that she's confused at, like, the concept of game over is absurd.
See,
so
this is where
I think she's just, like, taken aback by how rude they're being, that she, like, they're condescending to her.
Yeah.
That she doesn't understand what game over means. She was just trying to be cute.
Yeah, I guess that's because where I disagree. Like, I think she knew she was just trying to be cute, and then he is, like, actively, like, annoyed that... Well, he's not even annoyed. He's just, like... I guess he's just saying, like, your cuteness... We're not interested in you like Jack is, so you don't get to just be...
I don't think so, because the other guy's, like, smiling while... Like, basically what happens is... the game says, you are defeated. She says, that's your opinion. Friend says, no, it's not just his opinion, you're actually dead. And then the other friend says, don't worry, Jack sucked when he started. And Jack responds, I didn't suck this bad. Which is like, what are you doing? Are you insane?
Like...
Are you trying to sabotage your own non-relationship?
That's
just their dynamic.
I mean, I guess.
And she's like, hey, give me a break, I'm a noob.
And, like, but she's, like, it's, either way, it all is cute, because then, like, they're like, okay, we're gonna do another round, but she has to go, because she has to take care of her little brother, and then the other guys,
have other things to do.
They all, it seems like everybody, like, we're only gonna play for, like, a few hours a day, and we got other stuff to do. That's fine.
I mean, if they have other stuff to do, yeah.
Well, yeah, I wasn't criticizing them.
No. I'm just saying, like, does Jack have other stuff to do?
He does, but his mom, because we'll see later,
he hasn't been doing his but I mean, that's after things get real spooky.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is, I believe...
This is the tipping point right before things get ridiculously spooky. Because he's already lost some time. He lost the hours that he was playing instead of going to the party.
Yes.
But this time, they all go, and he's gonna play some more, and the Paladin's online. So he's like, hey, let's party up, let's do this, let's play some more. He plays, and then we see him wake up from bed, and the calendar doesn't read February 6th. It reads March 6th.
Oh, no.
He's lost a month.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't remember the month at all.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom comes in, and his mom is like, Jack, we need to talk. I don't know what the hell is going on with you. Something's going wrong. You please, I'm not going to be mad. Just tell me what's going on with you. And he says, Mom, I don't know what happened. I don't remember anything of the last month. I thought it was February 6th. And, like, as he's saying this, even though she just said, I'm not going to be mad at you, she rolls her eyes and she's like, Jack, you gotta stop coming up with bullshit. And it's like, what are you doing, lady? Like, you just said you weren't gonna be mad at him, and he just told you he's having a serious mental health issue.
Yeah, it's also strange, too, because she's like,
he's your son!
Because she's like, you've been acting different for this whole month. And then he's like, I lost a whole month of my life. And she's like, no, you fool, that's impossible. We went to the doctor 2 days ago. But, like, lady...
I don't remember going to the doctor.
Also, what did the doctor say?
The doctor gave him a clean bill of health after he missed 10 days of school feeling unwell. And I'm like, okay, so he felt unwell for 10 days. And then you went to the doctor, which is way too late, but you went to the doctor, and then the doctor said he's fine. 2 days later, he says, Mom, I've come out of whatever fugue state I was in and I'm acting completely different. Okay? For the last month, I was a jerk to you. I wasn't coming out of my room. Nobody likes me. And now I'm behaving like my old self again. And she's like, stop making stuff up. What?
Also, this is the conversation that the little grown
brother comes out. We haven't heard his age yet, so it's not clear. I don't even know if they had it clear in their minds when they wrote the script how old he was supposed to be, because he walks out with like pajamas and like a teddy bear, which, by the way, creepiest teddy bear I've ever seen. The thing has no eyes.
It's been loved to death.
I don't think so. It looks brand new with no eyes.
Yeah, this is creeped out after all.
That's true. Even the nice things need to be creepy.
But regarding the age of the brother, I think it's possible that they did know that the brother was 11 and had that in mind. But it's a case of bad writers don't know how children's ages work, especially when they're like adults. So they're like, 11 is a little kid, and this is what little kids do. But they have no concept of like the vast difference in maturity between an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yeah, like, look, I sent a picture of the kid and his creepy teddy bear. It is unsettling how it does not have eyes.
That kid straight up looks like he's 13, honestly.
Yeah, right? Like, he's the oldest looking 11-year-old I've ever seen, but also, he's dressed and holding a teddy bear like he's a 4-year-old.
It's very strange.
It's so weird.
Okay, so then he gets to school and one of his friends is holding Carrie's hand.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And he's like, well, maybe I'm just mad that my friend is holding hands with the girl I like. And he's like, okay, but why'd you tell her to stop playing with us? So now we get a little bit more of a clue. So it's like...
In the last month.
This month, it's kind of... like, I'll just say this now, just so we're all clear. It's like Gamer Click, but
Gamer Click meaning click the movie, not CLIQUE.
Yeah. But at the same time, autopilot for him, he still behaves negatively.
He's still a total asshole.
Like, in Click, they were very clear that he he didn't do much at all. But
I mean, part of the point of Click was that, like, when he makes a decision consciously, his conscious decisions affect the way his autopilot behavior will behave. So, like, if he chooses to skip sex during waking hours, during conscious hours, then in the future the remote will just skip over sex. And like, if he chooses to get vanilla ice cream instead of chocolate ice cream during his autopilot, he'll always get vanilla ice cream. Like, those kinds of decisions go on autopilot too, based on his decisions. But like in this, instead, when he goes on autopilot, he just makes the most self-detrimental decision he can.
Like, basically, if it gets in the way, like, I guess because she's
if it gets in the way of him playing Kingdom of Tevin.
Because she's bad at gaming, so I guess he told her to leave, to kick rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's that. That's happening. And then he's like, okay, well, either way, that was a mistake. I've got to get my life back on track. Like, either that evening or maybe a few nights later. But his mom come out. She's like, "Oh, you're doing your math homework. That's awesome."
I think it's that evening.
Yeah.
When his mom and little brother come home from school, he's making them tacos. He's making them dinner. He's like, "Look, I know I haven't been myself, recently, and I just want to say, like, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna try to do better." And it's like, wow, look at that. I don't know. He doesn't explicitly recognize that it's the game that was the problem, but he is going out of his way to do right by the people in his life. And he's like, "Look, you guys are in a couple now, and like I blew it. I don't remember the last month." And they're like, "You don't need to come up with excuses, okay? And like, why didn't you show up to my party?" And it's like, "What do you mean?
What?
That was a month ago. That was a month ago." And he's like, "Nobody believes you were sick. Don't, and he's like, "Look, man, just forget it. You guys are in a couple now. I'm not going to step on your toes. You guys, you know what? I'm happy for you, and I'll try to do better by you guys." And they're like, "Okay, that's cool."
Yeah. So so he's doing his homework. After that, he plays a little bit with his
Sorry,
pet.
just gotta say, when he's doing his homework, his mom comes in, his mom comes in and is like, "Okay, honey, glad you're working on your homework, getting your grades back up. That's good. I'll see you later. Good night." And she walks out of the room, and she walks out of this room where, like, okay, I'm not, like, the cleanest person in the world. Like, I don't clean every mess as soon as it happens. But, like, I try to stay at least sort of clean. In his room, he has an open bag of chips with chips spilled out onto his bed, onto the side of his bed, crushed up on his seat, and crushed directly into his rug. It's disgusting.
That's not even necessarily a cleanliness thing. That's like a comfort thing. Like,
it's also very it's also very weird too, because like most of his room is pretty clean except for all the chips.
Yeah, like, dude, this is unsustainable. Like, what, you can't be doing your math homework right now. Like, just fix. You've got chip crumb. You're gonna be. I can't stand looking at it. I just sent you a picture. You can see I circled all. What did he do?
He scattered them himself.
Like, the moment the bag exploded all over your room, that's when I would start cleaning it up.
Is he in the screenshot? Is he in the process of eating a chip right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because isn't the bag facing away from him?
Yes, it is.
So what happened?
I don't know.
Like, he took a chip out and like flipped the bag over and it just.
I don't know. His mom's like, "Good night," and his mom just walks past all this shit while he's holding a chip in his hand, and there's just this gargantuan, and then he goes to bed with his books and the chips on the bed.
What? While we're looking at his bed, this is unrelated, but I would like to say I do like that he has such a brightly colored room. You don't see a lot of like boys' rooms and TV with like pastels at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's not like soup, and it's not like, oh, he's got a girly room. It's just a room, but it's not like, what do boys like? I don't know, navy blue.
Yeah, I guess.
So I like that he has like a cutely designed room. So anyway, that night he cannot sleep at all. The ticking of his clock changes tempo a few times.
At one point they got the ticking of the clock, and then they crossfade to a different sound effect that's moving at a different tempo, and I'm like, it's a clock. It's supposed to go one tick per second.
I think it's they're trying to bring back the time, like controlling time thing.
Oh,
or like losing time.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. They're probably trying to
do something,
make it mean something it doesn't actually mean.
But then, okay, so he can't sleep, so he reaches out. Actually, I think the paladin this time reaches out to him, and it's like, "Hey, you round or whatever." Either way, the point is they're just gonna play one game so he can fall asleep.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. Also, because like, I don't know of any person who plays video games or is addicted to video games who thinks that games put you to sleep.
Yeah.
Because, like, the whole point is it's a thing you do while you're awake that you have fun with.
And also you're, like, stimulating your mind. You're not relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah. like, it doesn't matter what game you're playing, you are stimulating your mind at least a little bit, instead of closing your eyes and being bored until your body shuts down. Yeah, I mean, so he's like,
That
whatever.
is how
He says,
sleep works.
he's like, all right, I'll play one more round to knock myself out, I think is the phrase he uses.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you talking about?
Are
Then-
you 90?
Yeah.
Well, then the next time we see him, we hear Paladin going like, all right, we did it. Every update, every version, every achievement, we did it.
And by the way, I don't understand what every update, every version means in this situation. Because, like, every update, like, you updated the game or you played through all the updates? Because, like,
I think like how you
the
said,
game's done being developed.
I think it's like how you said, although like we find out later that there's like a new one on their way. I think it's a kind of thing where like how Destiny has seasons that you play.
Yeah.
I guess there's a way in this where you can play all the old ones too.
Yeah, I guess.
And they did.
Or maybe, like, expansions. But, like,
so they just play.
either way, they did they did everything there is to do in the game to this point.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, what?
But then his little brother comes in to be like, hey, are you ready to go or what? And now, his brother
Looks like a different person.
His brother is now like 20 years old. And
Not actually. Like,
We
they'll
find-
clarify how old he is, and it doesn't make any
it
sense.
doesn't make sense. Okay, so Paladin says, yeah, we did it. It only took us 5 years. Okay, then later we find out he says, I still think I'm in grade 9, and you were 11. Okay, so why? Okay, 5 years from being in grade 9, that's 14, 15, usually 14.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he still in high school?
Not only why is he still in high school, why are his friends still in high
I was
school?
gonna say,
First it
maybe.
was like, okay, so you're
If he was like a double super senior,
Yeah.
he's in 14th grade now, I would kind of understand if it was like he'd been held back because he played so much of the game that, like, he no longer is capable of, he was not graduating. No, he was graduating his classes, and he got to senior year, and his friend, who earlier was like dating that girl, who, by the way, never makes a reappearance in the episode. She just doesn't reappear.
She moved away.
Well, the other friend did move away, and this friend, he's also a senior in high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you were in 9th grade, 5 years passed, now you're in 12th grade. Okay. And then, like, also, he goes to school, and by the way, they keep cutting back and forth, like, he looks in a mirror, and you'd see, like, an older actor is, like, shocked in the mirror, but then, like, they show the younger actor so that we know there's continuity or whatever.
But that, and like,
He steps out into the kitchen, and his mom is there, and, like, he now has a stepdad.
Oh no.
And stepdad, he walks up to stepdad, he's like, who are you? And I'm like, dude, you know what's going on, man. You lost 5 years of time. Obviously, you're not gonna know who the hell this guy is. Like,
yeah.
there's no reason to be antagonistic towards him.
One thing that I thought was funny too is like at one point first, like, the stepdad, his name is Bob.
Oh,
Yeah, another good Bob.
This is our second spooky little Bob.
Maybe that's the theme of this month.
Yeah, Spooktober,
Bobtober.
Bobtober.
Ah.
Bobtober. And just find things where a character in it is named Bob.
Yeah. That's creeping me out.
Turns out there's a character in your life named Bob.
What?
Every,
Ah!
every day is Bobtober for me.
How scary. How frightening.
Yeah. Okay, so then stepdad is like, look, I know we don't really gel that well, but like, can you just like,
Your mom. It would mean a lot to your mom if you just tried your best today.
yeah.
And he's like, today? What's today? And his mom's like, please, that's not funny. Bye. And just walks out the door. And so then, like, his little brother is like annoyed with him or whatever, and he's like, they go to school.
One thing before we go to school, I just want to mention, we see like their new family photo, and it's like the four of them, like I don't remember if it's like a birthday party or a holiday or something.
Three of them
like,
smiling, him checked the fuck out.
and I'm like, why did you guys take another picture with someone else? Like, why did we insist on hanging up this picture with him? Because
Like, you couldn't get one picture of him at least looking at the camera, even if he's not gonna smile.
he's looking like out down at the corner. One thing too, like the mom is like, look, you really need to do good today, you know. And I don't know, like he's made it all the way to 12th grade. Like, it's too late. Like, if he's getting all C's, it's too late to impress a college now.
Yeah.
You know, it's his senior math final.
Yeah, he spent 5 years not impressing anyone.
So that's over. But I'm not worried about him graduating.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's gotten this far. But anyway, you know, he gets to the school. He tells his brother, like, what if I told you that I lost 5 years of my life? And then he's like, whatever. I would just assume, like...
What doesn't the little brother say?
He says that that's the most... I would just say this is the most you've talked to me in years.
He says, like, am I a bad brother? And he says, like, you're not a bad brother. I just don't know you. We don't talk ever.
Which is, like, more sad, I think, than if he just was a bad brother. He's like, you're just like this stranger I happen to share blood with, my guy. So then he, leaves. So then he just he goes off to his class or whatever. Then he meets in with his friend. We did that. Then he goes into this math class and he's looking at the final. He's like, I don't know any of this.
Yeah, it specifically says grade 12 advanced math. And I'm like, how did he get into advanced math while he was checked out?
So then he's
looking at it and I didn't even bother reading the math problems. He's just like, I can't do any of this. And the teacher's like, sir, please, disruptions will count as disqualification. You just do your best. And he's just like, I'm supposed to be in 9th grade. And he like stands up and everybody in the classroom is looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he walks up to the lady and he says, take me back! Take me back! And it's like, dude, she wasn't even a character in this episode until this point. Why are you yelling at her? Like, what?
Then, next we see the mom is walking out.
By the way, somewhere in there we saw a scene of him meeting with the old friend.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Yeah, but we already talked about it. Who cares?
Nothing new happened there. The point is, games have just destroyed his life. That's the point. Okay.
He got pretty close to high school graduation.
Yeah, he should have just kept playing.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
If he just kept playing, then he'd be like 32
Here's
and
what
married.
you do. Here's what you do. You fake like you don't know what you're doing. You say like, I'm having some kind of serious problem. They say, okay, we'll reschedule your finals, then go play video games.
I think that would be interesting if he figured out how... I think that would be interesting if he figured out how to, like, pivot this to, like, benefiting his life.
Yeah, he's gonna min-max his life.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm wondering is, like, what about the updates? Like, how long are they going to continue to update this game? When is Kingdom of Heaven 2 coming out?
Never. They're
just going to keep updating it till he's, like, dead?
Well, I guess like Destiny. They just keep making seasons.
Like
I'm playing Destiny 2.
Like World of Warcraft.
I guess.
Yeah. But I still don't really get what kind of game this is.
Yeah,
but either way, mom talks with the teacher, and then she's just like, man, I'm so sick of you being such a loser. And then he goes home, and then he's like gonna cry and hug himself in bed, and his little brother comes, and he's like, hey, I was thinking about it, and I remember years ago you had this talk with mom about not remembering things for a month. Is that what this is?
Not much of a talk, really.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, also, like, how come it took the little brother figuring this out? Like, why didn't mom... Like, this is what happened from mom's perspective. The first however many years of this kid's life, he was a completely normal person. Good kid, good grades, had friends, nice to his younger brother, nice to his family, did his chores. Good in school. Then, one day, he becomes a total asswipe for a month. Then, he tells you, Mom, I don't remember the last month. I'm dissociating. I don't know what's happened to me. And then the very next day is the beginning of a 5-year span of time where he is not himself anymore. He goes back to being a jerk after making a real effort to be nice one night. And she doesn't remember this at all.
Like, it's also bizarre, too, because, like, if we take, like, you know, if he is, like, we know that he's able to, like, push people away in the game. But, like, it sounds, like, just on paper, that sounds kind of like depression. Like, something you should be seeing,
right.
Even if it's not gaming addiction, whatever it is going on, something's happened. Or, like, you know, if this is the real him and, like,
I mean,
before,
we know what she does when he's feeling ill for 10 days. She does nothing for 10 days and then takes him to a doctor. So if he's got some kind of illness that isn't visibly apparent, how do we know she's gonna do anything?
But
she's been so checked out, she didn't notice the drastic personality change that happened for 5 years.
And then, okay, so then he tells little brother this whole thing, and little brother's like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on, but we definitely need to get you professional help. I'm going to run downstairs. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to grab something. You can drive. And he's like, I can drive? And he's like, yeah, you can drive. And I'm like, that's not an okay... Like, if he doesn't know how to do math problems, I don't think he knows how to do driving.
Yeah, but, like, we don't...
But whatever.
But then he's like, okay. And then he leaves, and then, you know, he's on his way out to follow his brother when we hear Paladin again, but he's not even wearing the headphones this time.
Paladin's just talking to him, and like Jack runs over to the headset, and it's not even plugged in, and he's looking at it, and he's like, "Where are you? How are you talking to me?" And Paladin's like, "Don't you understand, Jack? Who was always there when things got rough for you? Who was there? Who was always around? I'm you." And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't, because, like, he didn't have 2 accounts.
Yeah, so, like, was he soloing all this content? And also, like, he said, like, who I was always there when things got rough. And it's like, things weren't rough when you missed going to the party. So. That was, like, that was a good thing.
But then, he's just like, come on, one more minute. And then...
Jack, like a buffoon,
sits down!
And he puts on the headset and he grabs the controller and his little brother opens the door.
And it's like, no, come
on, Jack. No.
And then I'm like, no, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I like free will as much as the next person, but no. I am taking the headphones off. We are leaving. You're not driving because you can't.
Yeah, like we just established you're having a serious mental health issue. And you've gone back to the thing that's causing your mental health issue.
Because he literally said before he walked out the door, he was like, you know, if you can resist the temptation. And he was like, what are you talking about? Oh, right, 5 years. Well, they released a new update for Kingdoms of Tevin, which also made me...
Don't tell him that! Why would you tell him that? Like, imagine saying this to, like, a crack addict. Like, hey, you know what? We'll get you some serious help if you can avoid the temptation. They just released Crack 2.0. And then walk out of the room! What are you doing?
And then it just ends with him playing despondently. And so who knows how much more of his life he's going to lose. And then we go back to the Curious, and...
The Curious is standing in front of the chalkboard again, and the narrator says some kind of insipid bullshit about time, games, whatever. And
is it really 1 more minute, or could it be your last, or I don't know.
Some dumb shit like that. And the Curious stands in front of this chalkboard, which I get, again, I looked at the math, they got all of it right, they have the solutions... No, he doesn't even correct it. He just walks up and the camera angle changes so you can't really see the chalkboard, but you can see that it's still the same chalkboard. And he writes on the chalkboard, 7, 2, 2, 3. Doesn't mean anything. He just wrote some numbers down.
To do with the problem on the board at all.
Huh.
But that's this episode of Creeped Out.
They just wanted him to write something on the board, but the board is already complete.
Do you think
he just wrote 4 random numbers.
Do you think they were trying to do leet speak and didn't understand it?
I don't think so. I think, like, I don't know. The narrator says, it's all fun and games until someone loses half their life. How many one mores is too many? and then the Curious just writes 7223.
That's how many.
The cold hard truth is you only find out once you pass the point of no return.
Oh.
And then it goes to black, and then that's it.
So that was
pretty,
this episode of Creepy.
Yeah, pretty creepy, I would say.
Yeah, pretty spooky. The Bob appearance there was
There's always
chills. Yeah. Chilling. Sent shivers down my spine.
But yeah, okay, so that was that basically.
Yeah, do you feel like you are now wary of video game addiction in a way you weren't before?
Yeah, I think that this is going to make me hypercorrect, actually, and I'm going to be constantly checking my watch while I'm playing video games, and only play for 5 minutes.
At a time,
At a time, because one more could be one too many.
Oh.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that it's taught you. And I hope it taught you guys listening. If you'd like to hang out with us, we have a Discord where you can hang out with us. We do stuff there sometimes. And yeah, thank you for being here with me, you two. And thank you all for listening. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe because we all need friends. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.